Okay, so today I'm working on a research project for the cybersecurity and wireless network department in the electrical engineering for Georgia Southern. I've been tasked to find pretty much the basic information about what the 3D wireless network is about. So the first thing I was going to do is look up a survey of wireless communications. This is because usually when you type in survey of, it gives you the basic information. It tells you you can click, like you'll see right here, like the first things that pop up are like PDFs. So I'll usually just click one that's, survey of wireless communication for electronic. It doesn't keep going, but so I'll usually click it and then just kind of look through the beginning, the abstract, and see, what this article is talking about. And typically you can trust the surveys because they're written by professors or other people researching the topic. And most of the time for engineering, you'll find that they're written by and corrected by the IEEE. So they're pretty standard. And usually they're very lengthy in time, so I don't want to read the whole thing. I just want to get the useful information. And then once I figured out the basis of what I was doing, I type in, like, let's say like survey of 3D wireless networks, and that'll come up with our topic, which is, communication between quadcopters. Once I had gotten my information, we wanted to look up a specific microchip that we needed. So, first thing I did was go to a website called DigiMesh because my professor had told me about it. And this opens up a wide variety of multiple components, things like that. So I had to go through the website, and the best way to figure it out was to look at the specific specs. I knew from my professor that we needed 2.4 gigahertz, so I was able to narrow down the website and find the product that we needed just off of, knowing very little. It didn't take very long on the website. The next thing that I would usually look to do is find a trustworthy store that's selling it. The DigiMesh actually worked out very well. They had prices, the spec sheets, things like that on the product, so it was pretty easy to figure out once I was on the website. I'll give you like if I keep clicking the wrong thing. It was very helpful too. I was able to use the support forums and the chat, so that way I could chat with the technology, the tech support, and things like that, and figure out exactly what I was trying to buy. That was very helpful. Usually on tech savvy projects, it's very nice to go on forums and things like that. It may not be the most reliable source, but you can usually get a good understanding of what you're looking for. So here's like the specs. You can just look through them and be like, oh, okay, that's doing 2.4 gigahertz. Like, all right, let me just figure that out. And then there's documentation you can find from the IEEE, things like that. And so what I ended up doing is I spent quite a bit of time looking through the spec sheets, the documentation that the website provided, and made sure that the product was what I needed. And on top of what I did is I also typed in, the product itself to try to find multiple websites that offered it. So I would just go to the thing, copy its name, post it in Google, and you'll see that a bunch of, articles and things like that will come up. A lot of different websites. One of them, Spark Fun, comes up a lot. They have a lot of information about the same topic. And you'll see that, a lot of times, like, they'll actually show the price and all of the specs about it, so you can kind of cross-reference one website to another to see if one of them is showing that it does something different than it's supposed to. And then that's a red flag. Then you can be like, all right, well, now I got to make sure that this is accurate. Once we had everything on that done, I was instructed to give the task of figuring out how to program a errata locomate which is essentially a device that goes in a car and it'll track the GPS location, send out certain signals so that way you can track the speed and the location and um, the longitude and latitude, basically the GPS location of the car. And so for that, I actually went through quite a bit of articles and things like that, trying to figure out what Locomate can do. And a lot of times you'll find that the system itself, the people who make the product usually have the most trustworthy because they are the ones that have designed the entire thing, and you'll find the same data sheets from them. It's trustworthy just because they put all of their time and effort into making the product. So you'll find a lot of good information based off of what they did. I was also able to, by just searching the name of the product, I was able to find videos on YouTube of people instructing how to use them, people using them themselves. And a lot of times you can't exactly trust people on YouTube, but again, you can kind of just get a good understanding. You can kind of learn it a little bit and then be able to cross-reference it from different articles of, more trusted sources. And I mean that's pretty much where I am with my project. It's been a lot of just looking up scholarly uh, surveys of things and then finding the websites of the vendors that sell it, looking up spec sheets and whatnot. Okay. Want me to pause it or